Man, did I start laughing. I was laughing so hard. So you had 3 people say something?
Yeah,
That's funny.
we know who one of them was.
We know who won.
Yes.
Mike.
Not to be coy, Chairman Durst. Thanks.
You guys all set?
Yeah.
Scott,
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your patience.
everybody? Call to order, and clerk, could you call roll call, please?
Hoagland,
Here.
Smith, here, Swanson,
Here.
Luce, here, Prosser,
Here.
Beckman,
Here.
Durstock.
Here. We need a motion to approve the January 11th, 2023 ZBA minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'd second.
Roll call, please.
Hoagland,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Swanson,
Yes.
Luce,
Yes.
Prosser,
Yes.
Beckman,
Yeah.
Durstock.
Yes. And for on the agenda, ZBA 23-003, public hearing for a variance request to increase the allowable size of an accessory building in an R1 district from allowable 700 square feet to 912 square feet at 6498 Sutter Drive. And Steve, would you come forward and tell us of your plans?
And just for context, I have, the property is the one highlighted in the center of the screen on the monitors right now. So go ahead, Steve.
And I think there's a form right there, I think name and address or whatever. Is that up there, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay, if you would.
Yeah, please. Thanks, Steve.
Need a sharper pencil.
Sorry.
There's one.
This will work. It's
That'd be
just
sick.
kind of like double lines and language.
A rough surface beneath it.
No, I think it's the lip.
There you go.
I can do
I don't know why they're pencil.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right, so
And Steve, do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
yes,
Perfect, go ahead, please.
all right. So the truth for expanding the building, we just recently bought this property in August of last year. Moved a whole block away, was over on the corner of Upper Ridge and yeah, Applegate. Yeah, don't even know where it lives. And anyhow, so we were looking for a place. I'd sold a commercial building in Rockton. I wanted to reinvest money because my wood shop was in the basement of that building. So I needed a place for the garage. So we bought a different place that had an external garage. But after we moved in and got all the stuff from the shed that was in the backyard in that garage, not enough room for the wood shop. Well, not totally. So I need to expand it about 14 feet to just put the wood shop in there and have room for yard burials, lawnmowers, things like that. It's either expanding that or looking at a external freestanding building that you could move in. And I don't know if you need permits for those, but I think aesthetically, it would look much better at just expanding the building that's already there. Be more convenient, and I don't use it for production, just something to play with, do woodworking, but financial planner by trade, so it's not going to be a production shop. What else would you like to know about it?
You're moving it forward, right? The garage door you have now, you're just moving it forward.
Yes.
That's right.
Go
Forward
forward.
the house. Right?
Yes, towards the house.
Same
with-
setbacks are all the same around.
Exactly right. If you look, I think the last page of your report is the exhibit that we sent out with the legal notice. And we try to graphically show the area of expansion, the original square footage and the new square footage.
The materials will all be the same,
Yes, yep, same siding,
and that's the same as the house as well.
yes.
So did you understand that the variance needs to show a hardship? I'm sure you went over that with Scott.
Well,
Yeah.
that's- yeah, we talked about the standards for it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
But as I tell everyone, they have the right to apply and
sure.
work its way through the process.
I mean, yeah, without it, there wouldn't be enough room for shop. Well, I'd probably bring in another building. Because you can put a freestanding building, a shed,
Well,
or can you?
and that'd be problem. It's still, the accessory structures will be considered in the total square footage. So you might be running up against the same issue if you try to do another one as well. So this, every property in single family residential zoning is allowed one accessory building.
Hmm.
So you have one already.
Right.
So your path is to expand that one. That is the
Right, there's
preferable.
not enough room for what I need to do. That's the
Understand.
issue.
Yep.
What is the square footage of that current building?
576.
576?
I think not being able to do what he wants to do is a hardship enough. It's in the property in line with the pattern of. It doesn't, it's not an eyesore, it's not a big issue. I like. It's moving forward. It's got full surrounding trees too.
Are you able to keep all of your property in the size of the building that it is right now?
No, I've got a storage shed with all my woodworking stuff in it. I'm renting, it's 10 by 50.
So you have to spend money out of pocket,
Yeah,
another
that's
location that's not at your.
$1,000 a year I'm paying for that.
I'll call your attention to the monitors that shows the existing building at 24 by 24, 576 square feet. Then the cross-hatched area, if I'm representing it accurately, is the
The extension. Right.
outward towards the house. So
Right.
it isn't encroaching any of the setback lines, it's complying in that manner. For the 912 combined. Did I represent correctly in the report? You're going to remove an existing 16-foot door and replace it with an 8-foot?
Yes,
I've got a question. I drive by your property quite often, and those trees, there's big evergreens, I think there's spruces.
Mhm.
Big evergreens along the street that effectively screen from really even seeing that when you're coming from the south, around the corner there.
right.
Are you planning to keep all those intact and?
Yeah.
Because really you don't see that structure until you're really past it. right?
Yeah, and if my wife gets her way, she wants a few more trees along there,
So that structure then is blocked by the trees that are currently there?
pretty much. I mean, as you drive, if you're straight across from it, obviously you can see it, or if you're coming, from the north going south, you'll see it, but not that much of it. The trees along the back line come up past it, they come up just a little bit shy of the fire hydrant or the corner there. So it's pretty well secluded.
I think Laura makes a good point with that. Having to spend a few grand out of pocket to store things you want to store at your own house, it's hardship enough.
If you bumped it out to the allowable 700. Was that a consideration?
Well, it would be, yeah, it wouldn't be large enough. That's basically the minimum I need for the wood shop would be 24 by 24 minimum. And then to get all the yard tools in there and equipment, that's what I need the back 12 feet for. So there'll be a wall inside separating that off, and that'll be separate storage, but all in one building.
To expand, just to let you know what you're talking about. Impact of what you just asked.
Yes.
To expand the building and stay at 700 square feet or less would be to move that wall out only 5 feet.
Yeah, that wouldn't be worth it. And wouldn't be enough room.
Your house has a 2-car garage.
Yes. With 2 cars.
Right. Right.
We have too
And,
much stuff.
Is there anybody else here that cares to speak to the issue? No one? Scott, and so as always, letters went out to all the neighbors.
I asked Steve to guess how many homes were within 300 feet of his. Would you guess about a dozen? It
Yeah,
was 44. 44 letters were sent out.
And there were no responses.
No, this ran in the paper on January 29th as required, and mailings went out to the 44 homes. And again, that's not a house within 300 feet. That's any piece of any property that's within any. So what we do in Wingis, this website that we already had up right there, we can buffer a parcel. It takes their property line and it offsets it by whatever dimension we need. So I offset a property line by 300 feet, and then it generates an address list of everyone within that. Wow, powerful tool. You ever use that, Brian?
Okay, any further questions from the board?
The only comment I would make is that I drive by this quite often. It's very clean property. The trees do help screen quite effectively too, so it's good property in the neighborhood.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'd second.
And Stephanie, could you call roll call, please?
Smith,
Yes.
Swanson,
Yes.
Luge,
Yes.
Crosser,
Yes.
Wagman,
Yes.
Hoagland,
Yes.
Fairstone.
Yes. You're all set.
Okay, thank you very much.
Scott, thank you. Help you with.
No, Steve, that'll move on to, I'll send you the agenda. That'll move on to the committee of the whole
Okay,
Tuesday, February 21st.
okay,
All right,
okay, thank you.
thank you.
Five in the agenda, ZBA 23-004, public hearing for a variance request to increase the allowable height of a fence in a side yard setback from 6 feet to 7 feet. I won't read all the addresses, but it's on Daneberry Drive.
Let me pull that up as well. There's 6 addresses listed. That is 3 buildings. That is 3 duplex buildings in a row.
Okay.
This is something you did design. We did design review for these buildings late 21 or early 22. These are right next to Mary's Market. They don't exist on Wingis yet. But one of the exhibits in your packet, which I'll bring up on the screen, shows the layout of the units superimposed here. So this one, I'm sorry, let me show my screen.
Where are you getting this stuff? Oh, because of that.
So we're talking about this sort of trapezoidal parcel immediately north of Mary's Market on Bainberry. Mr. Powers, who is here tonight, came before you last year again, or perhaps was it late 21 even? Last year. And we did design review for a series of 5. There's a cluster of 5 duplex developments in there. Let me see if I can bring up this stuff. 3 of them back up to what is essentially the backside of Mary's Market. And why don't we let the applicant come? Can make his pitch more.
So Greg, would you like to come forward and tell us about this? And if you would, fill out that.
So the image on the monitor now is that same parcel north of Mary's Market. It shows the 5 buildings, that's the 5 duplex units. The 3 of them, the addresses listed are the 6 dwelling units in the 3 duplex buildings that back up to Mary's Market. The heavy black line is the proposed fence.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can maybe talk about it. We're contemplating possibly doing it on the north side too, but as of right now, it's not official, but we were gonna put a fence on the back of Mary's Market and then possibly on the north side and then pine trees on the west.
We couldn't hear the variance for the, if you want it to be above 6 foot on the north as well, we can't have that variance tonight.
Okay.
Okay, Greg,
We would have to
can you
specific-
swear to tell the whole truth and nothing that's true? Okay,
Just to let everyone know why that wouldn't have been the accurate description of the request that went out in the legal notice and the mailings, so it wouldn't have been a fair notice to the people to the north. So we'd have to do that another time.
That's fine.
So I guess the obvious question is why?
Well,
I think
because
it's obvious.
right now when you, on those 3 duplexes there that back up to Mary's Market, when you're sitting in the great room, kitchen area, it's a real wide open floor plan. When you're sitting in there right now, you see the whole back of Mary's Market, the dumpster, all their garbage out back. And I think if we can go from a 6 foot to a 7 foot, We block pretty much all of it except for the air conditioner units on the top of the buildings. So I think from a tenant standpoint, it's much more appealing to see just the air conditioner units and not the whole building.
And then you talked a little bit about trees or bushes or something, but on the inside toward the rental units of the fence, do you put in bushes or something along there to?
I mean, yeah, we're gonna do
soften the fence up?
landscaping, but there's not much room. There's only about 10 feet, maybe 15 feet from the patios to that fence.
Okay,
So we're gonna be kind of limited to how big of trees we can put in there. So as of right now, I'm gonna say, I don't know for sure if we're gonna get trees in there. That's kind of why we're pushing the fence, because if it were up to me, I would put trees and pine trees to make a wall or fence, but there's just not enough room there. All the utilities are in the back of that building. So putting trees in will affect all those utilities. So I think a fence is really our best option for privacy.
There's currently a 20-foot offset from the back of the building to the property line, but as Greg referenced, I think there's porches, patios.
And on the backside, we have Nicor, we have ComEd, we have Spectrum, we have all the utilities run along the backside of that. So I think putting trees in probably is not gonna be a good idea.
We're not.
Can we get away with a 6-foot fence? Yes, but a 7-foot, I think would help block more of Mary's Market. Add a little bit more privacy.
I went out and stood next to him and tried to evaluate the sight line and what would help.
Are the buildings completed yet?
All of them are.
Tenants living there?
That was a setback from the road from Bainbury where that 7-foot fence would be.
So from the road, from the property line, it would have to be 33 feet. And that's, Greg, just so you know,
Yeah.
that's what's represented here. You know, the two conditions of approval that we put in staff report were if the fence not extend into the 33-foot front yard setback along Bainbury, which is probably more like 43 feet from the edge of road. And then not extend into, there's a 12-foot utility easement that runs along the back, so. That fence can occupy the property line outside of those setbacks, and I think still screen the backs of all the buildings.
There's actually a big tree between the two new units on the west there.
Okay.
That we jog the fence around the tree, so we don't have to get out.
So there is,
It's 350 feet of fence is what we measured. And you've got 335, so we're really close.
question from the board?
go back to the aerial.
Any questions from anybody in the audience?
That's true right there. It's day.
Just so everyone here, Mr. Power said that this tree that I'm trying to circle there. It is remains, so that tree is still there. It sounds like they'll drive the fence around that tree, so that tree. Is can remain.
We'll have RK stake that out so that we're pretty much, we run right along that blacktop edge.
Mike Dunn, you have a question or comment?
I was just wondering if a berm would help situation.
Yeah, there's
6-foot fence,
not enough room.
not enough room for berm.
You know, Mike, when you think about berms, they, the maximum allowable slope we have for landforms to ensure that they're mobile, unless someone's building a wall, then it's really the same thing as a fence, is a 3-to-1 slope. So every foot you raise is 3 feet over, 3 feet down. So just to get a foot of elevation, that's 6 foot horizontal on the ground. If you wanted 2 feet, now that's 12 feet of horizontal distance on the ground. So,
Well, and the biggest concern long distance is the roots getting into all the utilities.
yeah. I'm a big advocate of them in certain applications, but this is too tight.
Any further questions? Okay, we need a motion to approve.
You call, yeah, I mean, no one's here, but you call for interested parties.
I did,
Okay.
yep, and Mike spoke and
Yep, okay.
yeah, Sue had nothing, so we're good. Motion to approve?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
And Stephanie, can you,
Sure. Swanson,
Yes.
Luge,
Yes.
Prosser,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Durstock,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hoagland.
Yes.
Thank you.
All set.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Chris.
We need to-
Right, I don't know if you heard me say, Steve, because it's a variance request, it still goes out to the board, and that'll be. We talked about it, but that's February 21st, don't necessarily, okay. Thank you, yeah.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
All right, 6 on the agenda, old business, anybody? Have anything? From the past? Any new business? to Bring up,
Only new business outside, I tossed it. I mean, so it will always be the second Wednesday, but I did put the meeting schedule back in the back sheet.
yeah, it's pretty nice. Glad to see that. Guess we need a motion to adjourn that, nobody has anything further?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Stephanie, roll call, please.
Hoagland,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Swanson,
Yes.
yes, Prosser,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Durstock.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. I love seeing everyone here. That feels good. Nice to have the band all together.
What'd you say?
It's nice to have the band all together. It's nice having everyone here.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a good group. Thank you, guys.
Scott, you asked about Winges. There's some towns, mostly out east, that include right away.
The what?
They exclude right away. So you have to jump across right away and add more area, more distance.
Really?
It's ridiculous.
Really? So the,
Creates all sorts of confusion.
for the notice requirements?
Correct. It's odd.
Oh, man.
Mostly suburbs.
I'm going to ask you now.
Well, thanks everyone. We'll see you later.
Yeah, see.
Bye.
Hey, Brad, have you noticed that in Winges now, it's one of the newer features, it's probably been on for a while though, that you can buffer a polygon? Or you can
Okay.
do an address. So if you have a really weird, like I recently, I wanted to try to figure out how many homes were in the village, but also in.
Looks like.
How many homes in Roscoe
Does he?
Township were in also in the village thing, and I just was able to do a polyline and trace it and boom, it generates the list. Yeah.
I've read that.
It's because, you know, you used to only be able to buffer a point or a parcel, but now you can draw a shape.
Customize.
So.
And ask to get an address list, really.
It's like, oh, where you live, what school?
Yeah.
To, when you get to grade school.
I got it in my opinion, just about the Oxford, yes. Where I was, all Oxford schools.
Good. Oh, I didn't know you were.
I've been Stone Creek.
I got it.
Everything.
Okay.
Good, I know this area.
That's a, that's that kid, there's nobody wants to do yet. He's
Sure.
doing a little bit of this.
They serve us well.
No, totally different, totally different. Yeah,
That's fun.
thank you so much, Jordan.
Okay.
How's your family?
Good. Oh, they're fine. Yeah,
You know?
kids, no,